Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing a GeForce RTX 5060 Ti 16GB GPU in Red Dead Redemption 2. This one is the Palit Infinity 3 version of the card. I'm running it with the latest Nvidia drivers and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power-Ups GPU Z, and over on the left I'm pairing it with a Ryzen 7 9800X3D and 32GB of RAM. These are overkill specs, but something like a Ryzen 5 7600, for example, will get you the same FPS. Let's get into it! Shall we? And here we have it, my friends, the beautiful Red Dead Redemption 2. It could be a little bit more beautiful with higher resolution textures. Some of them aren't really that great, but it's an older title from 2018. We gotta remind ourselves of that, yet it still looks better than some games that release these days. But let's go over the settings. We're playing at 1080p resolution to start this off. I'm also gonna test 1440p and 4K, and these are Benchmark King's optimized settings for the best visuals to performance ratio. A lot of things are on high and ultra, some things are on medium as well. This looks basically like 5 or 10% worse than the complete maximum settings in the game, yet it performs a heck of a lot better. You gain like 40 or 50 frames per second by playing with these settings instead of the other ones, at least at 1080p resolution. But now, guys, to fix that horrible TAA, you can't just go into the settings menu, scroll down to DLSS and enable DLAA, unfortunately. Where is it? There it is. Because there is no DLAA option. There's only quality. That's the maximum it does, if you don't do the little trick that I'll show you in just a little bit. But yeah, let's use DLSS quality here just to check it out, take a look at the graphics. So we gained a little bit of performance, not a lot, you know, compared to the TAA stuff. It actually does look better to me right now, even with quality DLSS, than it did with TAA. Oh, Roach is pooping. Hello, Roach, by the way. How's it going, buddy? But we already had really high FPS even with the TAA stuff and at native resolution, so DLAA is a better option, because this is right now rendering the game at 720p resolution and upscaling it to 1080p, and although DLSS4 does a great job at it at 1080p resolution, still DLAA is just going to be way sharper and way more beautiful, and what I recommend. So I'm just gonna get out of the game now and override DLAA into this game. So you just go here to graphics, Red Dead Redemption 2, scroll down here, and now with the super resolution override, you select DLAA, and it's going to replace whatever input there is inside of the game, like quality, performance, ultra performance, balanced, with DLAA 100% resolution scale. So it's going to be more pretty. Alright, so we're back to the game now, scrolling down to the DLSS version. Now we unlocked the ultra quality mode here, which again is the same as performance, ultra performance. Even if you have on ultra performance, it's still going to run DLAA, but just to be sure, let's do ultra quality there. And here we go, the most beautiful Red Dead Redemption 2 anti-aliasing is now here, aside from MSAA, but that just wrecks the FPS completely. DLAA also works really well, as you can see, and everything is pin sharp. It's very beautiful, guys. Could be maybe a little bit sharper, adjusting that sharpness slider, which is almost at maximum, but I guess at 1080p I would do maximum, but still, that doesn't affect FPS, so let's keep on going here. Still a smooth experience. We lost about, what, 15 FPS? Or 10 to 15 frames compared to TAA, here with the DLAA stuff now, with DLSS4, so it's a little bit more intensive than native res with TAA, but it completely changes the game, at least in my opinion, and it makes for a much better experience at all of the resolutions, even at 4K resolution, as you'll see. The 8GB version of the card would also be able to achieve the same frame rates here with these settings at this resolution. I'm not sure at higher resolutions though, because you can see right now at 1080p it's only consuming 5 gigabytes of VRAM, or allocating 5 gigabytes there, so no problems even if you have the 8GB version, but please don't buy the 8GB version, because that thing sucks. Alright? And I was really happy when I saw a news article the other day saying that the 5060 Ti 16GB GPU is actually outselling the 8GB model 16-to-1. That's beautiful. It should be infinite to zero, you know? But yeah, it's nice to see that a lot more people are going for a 16GB model and not buying the 8GB version, because 8GB, yeah, it should not be here. Hello, Bob. How's it going, mate? Sing for us, please. Sing. He's singing, guys. He's very quiet today, but he's singing. Let's go to the Strawberry Town, Bob. This is one of the most intensive areas in the game, by the way. Saint Denis is less intensive than this, unless you're playing at night in Saint Denis, but that's ugly for videos. And it also only drops your FPS by like 2 or 3 frames more than right here. So this is, again, one of the most intensive areas. It's the most the FPS will drop to in Red Dead Redemption 2, and it only drops into what, like the lower 100s, I guess, or maybe like close to 110 or something like that. Doesn't even drop to like 105, I guess. Yeah, okay, there we go. 104 right there with people shooting at us. Hello, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. What the hell did I do? Oh boy, I just wanted to kill Bob, you know, and do everyone a good service. Because Bob is a demon. We need to get rid of the bastard. There we go. Got one here. Hello, hello, kind sir. Where is the other one? There he is, there he is. Come on, come on. All right, yes, run away from me. No, wait, stop. There we go. We got the bastard. Yeah, this is very smooth, as you saw. No stuttering. Actually, I saw a little spike there in frame time graph, but it's just a one-off, I guess. Most of the time, or like 99.9% of the time, it's going to be a buttery smooth experience here in Red Dead Redemption 2 with these settings. Again, this is not maxed out, but it gets really, really close in terms of visuals, and it gives you a lot more performance. I'll also try ultra settings, like max out everything aside from the MSAA, and show you how it runs by the end of the video, so you have an idea if you want to do that. But again, this looks very similar, and it's what I recommend for you guys to utilize with the 5060 Ti. And now I'll need to change monitors to test out 1440p. Here we have it, 2560 by 1440, exactly the same settings, still with DLAA, guys, alright, so we're still at native resolution, 100% resolution scale, and wow, oh my god, it's so much better looking. Jesus, dude. Like 1080p to 1440p in this game is a massive difference. It's so pretty. This is it. It's still going to be fantastic of an experience. Not high refresh rate like it was at 1080p with 100 plus frames per second, of course, but this is still really good. It's really smooth, obviously. Like, it's still well above 60 FPS, so it's more than a 60 Hz experience. If you have a high refresh rate monitor, it's going to be smoother than 60 Hz, and I mean, it might actually drop into the 60s and 70s, but who cares? It's a single-player title. As long as it's 60 plus FPS all of the time, and with these visuals, I am completely fine with this experience. Should the 5060 Ti 16GB be faster? Yes, I'm not saying I'm happy with its overall performance, but in this title, it doesn't have an issue whatsoever, especially with DLAA now sharpening up that image, doing a great anti-aliasing job, you know. Yeah, it's fantastic. The experience is really, really sharp and detailed. And on a 1440p monitor, for example, oh my god, Roach, what? Are you okay? Are you okay? You almost killed yourself, buddy. He's fine, though. He's fine. What the hell? Anyway, I'm not using a 1440p monitor right now. I'm using a 4K monitor because we're going to test 4K as well a little bit later. But I can tell you, I have tried this on a native 1440p monitor, and the TAA versus DLAA stuff is absolutely huge. The difference is insane, guys. All right? This looks way better right now. It's night and day, basically. As it was at 1080p resolution, you could see it for yourselves. Maybe with the YouTube compression, you can't really see it that well, but trust me, you should definitely utilize the DLAA with these settings. Stop shooting at me, please. Oh my gosh. Oh, I died. I died by falling. Also, if you're wondering, the 8GB version of the card would also do just fine here, since it's only allocating 6GB of VRAM at this point. so no problems there. But again, no buying the 8GB version. Please, don't buy it. And also, as I was saying before, this is very good performance, of course. I'm super happy with these frame rates and these graphics, but at the same time, this is slower than an RTX 4070, and that just didn't sit right with me, especially with the full review of this card, because I was really expecting it to at least match the 4070 from the previous generation, you know, but it didn't. At least it does give you more than 12 gigabytes of VRAM, which is found on the 4070, and the performance, I guess, is close enough. You know, it's within 15%, but there's still a difference there. Anyways, at least the DLSS4 also helps it a lot, of course, making that image quality look really good. Like, if you use quality DLSS at 1440p, it's going to look fantastic. So that makes it pretty enjoyable still if I am playing at 4K resolution with this GPU. Just use a bit of DLSS performance, for example, and it does great, and the VRAM is enough in most titles, in all of the titles, actually. At 4K performance, DLSS 16 gigabytes is never saturated. So yeah, the card is growing on me a little bit, but it still sucks that it didn't match the 4070. So yeah, guys, I think that's about it for 1440p resolution. And now let's go up to that 4K resolution. This is still going to be with DLAA. Here we go. So 3840 by 2160 resolution, utilizing exactly the same settings with DLAA. And this is probably going to drop from 60 FPS. And see, guys, this is 50 to 60 most of the time. This is where a 4070 would be getting 60 FPS. Let's stop talking about it. It's still very good performance, of course, in my opinion. What the hell was that? That's like the third time I've seen it in this area, actually, with different GPUs as well. That's pretty weird. But yeah, this 50 FPS, it's still playable, it's still good performance for a 5060 Ti tier GPU, in my opinion, especially given that this is 4K native res with DLAA, which is more intensive than TAA, of course, and the graphics and the visuals look amazing at the same time, so I'm not mad at this at all, but I think quality DLSS is definitely going to be the way to go here to push it over 60 frames per second, or maybe even performance DLSS for a smoother experience. Who knows? But we're gonna check that out in just a little bit, of course. Right now we got DLAA, so I can't really change that setting, use DLSS quality or performance. We need to restart the game and turn off the override of the DLSS super resolution, you know. Ooh, look at the birds. Actually, I'm gonna shut up for a bit, guys, until we get to Saint Denis and just appreciate the graphics and the sounds of nature as well. Yeah. Bob isn't here. Of course, we killed Bob. This is not like in GTA 5, where Bob can actually appear after we kill him. This game is more accurate. Oh my god, there's way too many! Way too many! Oh, that looks so beautiful, by the way, but what the heck? Oh, come on, Roach, please go! I'm pressing the button! Why don't you move? Do you want me to die? Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to remedy now! So there goes our little chill ride, yes? I was appreciating the nature and everything, seeing if Bob was there still. Happy that Bob wasn't there, but there were Bob's friends there. Yeah, Bob's friends got the revenge on me now. Actually, guys, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe Roach is on Bob's side? He actually made us die there. He stopped. I was pressing the buttons. I never stopped pressing the buttons, and he just stood there. Anyway, let's keep on going here. As you can see in Saint Denis, still not dropping too much from 50 FPS, only into the 40s. We've already seen it drop into the 40s in like dense forest areas, for example. And it's really stable once again, and even the 8GB model would be able to achieve this performance because the VRAM allocation is at 7 gigabytes. Alright, so I'm back into the Nvidia app, and now I'm going to disable this right here, use the 3D application setting default, and now we can actually utilize DLSS lower than DLAA at any time inside of the game. I'm starting with the same settings with quality DLSS now at 4K resolution. Oh boy, this looks basically the same as DLAA at 4K resolution with quality DLSS, and now it's well above 60 frames per second instead of being into the 50s, guys. This is great. Oh yes, I'm gonna start counting the FPS. Let's see if we can see Jack this time around. Yes, because he wasn't there, I think, previously. At least I didn't hear him when we were climbing this area over here. Or maybe we did go in that direction. I'm not sure, actually. I can hear him, though, so he's probably not there, unfortunately, guys. Even though this is super adequate, and this is where the 5060 Ti starts growing on me once again. Like, when you use 4K resolution and DLSS at the same time and get this performance, I just can't be mad at this GPU anymore for 430 bucks. I mean, look at it. 74 FPS. It doesn't drop from 60 FPS probably, and this is 4K visuals. It's beautiful. Just gonna stand still here for a second so you guys can appreciate the quality of the graphics. Look at those details on the vegetation behind us and on the right there. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Let's go. Oh, we can grab Bob once again and hear him sing. That's gonna be beautiful. Up into the high 70s over here. Is so much smoother than 50 FPS. Obviously, 50 FPS was still smooth and decent without stuttering at all. Hello, Bob. How's it going? Should we say goodbye, Bob, and release him? Definitely not, right? Let's hear him sing. Beautiful. Oh, boy. Maybe we should actually release him. Otherwise, people will goodbye, Bob, okay? Otherwise, they will see us and kill us, and I don't like when that happens, because, well, we die. Dropping into the 60s, 69 right there. Even the poop is so high quality, guys. Oh! Look at that. Appreciating poop textures. Red Dead Redemption 2 experience. Oh boy. Actually, somebody should make a compilation of poop in different games. Anyway, why are we talking about poop? Let's keep on going here. Alright, dropping into the 60s sometimes, but it still keeps around 70 frames per second average, even in a town like Strawberry here. So again, St. Denis is going to get around the same FPS, a couple of FPS lower during nighttime, which is still going to be really, really good, and that's worst case scenario. Let's go with performance now. I'm skipping balanced as usual. Balanced is in the middle, so you can guess what balanced is going to get you, you know? And even performance DLSS. I actually did this little comparison before I started recording today. I launched the game with DLSS 2. I think it's DLSS 2, the standard version in this game, you know, default. And performance DLSS at 4K. It was so over-sharpened. It had some artifacting as well around Arthur's hair, as well as Roach's hair right there. And right now this isn't perfect like quality DLSS was, but it's such a big difference. This looks better than quality DLSS 2 does, and it's performance DLSS 4. And it's basically rendering the game at 1080p resolution and upscaling to 4K. Yeah, it looks so much better. Like, if I stop right here once again so you can take a look at the details. Obviously, if you're standing still, it will always look better than moving around. Gets a little bit softer like this, a little bit more aliased, I guess, in some areas, but it's so good still. I will go as far as saying that DLSS performance in this game might look better to my eyes than TAA at 4K. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy, guys. But yeah, TAA is really soft. After you've experienced DLSS4 in this title and you go back to TAA, you can't go back. You will notice that it's so soft. Previously, it wasn't that soft to me. But then DLSS4 released in this game, well, with the override, at least. And I tried it, and now every time I play with TAA, it's just crap. I don't like it. And now, guys, it is time for us to check out the maximum settings. So I'm going to manually set everything to the max here, all right? I wanted to do max settings, but this is a bit too intensive for no good reason. It doesn't affect the visuals at all if you set it to 8 times or 4 times. So I'm going to keep it on 4 times. All right. Actually, most of these don't even affect the visuals at all. And finally, the tree tessellation, I'll also keep that off. So basically, these are maximum settings aside from the reflection MSAA and the tree tessellation, which I'll still call Ultra Plus. And also, since TAA is horrible, I'm going to go back to utilizing DLAA here because we're going to start at 1080p again. Holy crap, no freaking way. Damn. So... see that? See how intensive this is, guys, compared to previously? We're at 1080p still, using the Ultra Plus settings with DLAA. All right, not maxed out, because this could still go higher, and the tree tessellation as well, and it would drop our FPS by like 10 frames per second. So instead of 60, it would be getting 50. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's crazy, and it looks basically the same. The main difference here compared to what we saw previously with the optimized settings is the weather is slightly different, so the lighting is slightly different as well. But if it was exactly the same weather, it would look basically the same once again. And we're getting half of the frame rate, literally half of the frame rate as before. We were seeing like 120s, 110s sometimes. Now we're seeing 50 to 60. Like, it's pretty crazy, but you can make the game look basically the same as maximum settings without breaking the FPS completely by playing on the maximum settings. Now, over here, it gets us up into the 80s, so that's not as big of a difference as it was before, alright? Much better around this area, but it was dropping a lot previously because of the water physics option, okay? That just wrecks the FPS completely. Right now, we're not seeing the water, so it doesn't drop the FPS a lot, but whenever there's water on screen, especially running water, it gets wrecked. And we'll see that in Strawberry Town again, because, well, there's a river coming through it, of course. That's one of the reasons why that is super demanding of an area. So let's go there and hear Bob scream for a bit. Sing, I mean. Oh, those are some really high notes, Bob. I'm proud of you. Have you been training or something? Oh, boy. Come on. No, no, Arthur, please. Oh, it's dropping into the 50s, by the way, because we're close to the running water already. And yeah, you don't even need to be seeing the water on screen. You just need to be close to it. And yeah, look at that. It's what I said, guys. If you are close to running water... Arthur? What the hell happened? Okay. That was so weird. If you are close to the running water, it drops your FPS like crazy. Even at 1080p resolution, we can't achieve 60 plus all of the time. But again, these are settings that I wouldn't utilize unless I had like a 5070 Ti GPU, for example. Okay, this is it, 2560 by 1440, using the same settings with DLAA. Obviously, since it dropped from 60 FPS at 1080p, it will still drop a lot here. And yeah, it's getting down into the 40s. Previously, we only went down into the 50s. A little bit more intensive, still playable, and I mean, if you utilize quality DLSS instead, I can't right now because we got the DLAA overriding it, but yeah, with quality DLSS, I think you could get closer to 60 frames per second, but once again, it's not worth it, in my opinion. Just stick to the optimized settings. It runs flawlessly even with DLAA, full resolution, and it's amazing. Out here, though, you can get up into the 60s if you're not seeing water or close to water. We see water on screen. Instantly it drops. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy. So once again, not recommended with these settings. Let's do 4K for good measure. And now at 4K resolution, it drops into the low 30s. Instead of dropping into the 50s, low 50s and high 40s maybe, it drops into the low 30s. That's a lot more choppy. It's still playable though. If you are after a 30 FPS experience, for example, I don't think it's going to drop from 30 FPS. We're seeing water moving a lot here, and it's not dropping. And again, this is the most intensive thing now. There are a lot of people playing this game with 30 FPS on consoles, and they enjoyed the hell out of it with much worse graphics. But once again, you can get a 60 plus FPS experience just by using optimized settings and quality DLSS, and that's going to be much smoother and much, much better, in my opinion. Also dropping into the 30s. Yeah, there's lots of running water here. 29 there for a second. So maybe give it a little bit of an overclock as well to make sure that it doesn't drop from 30 FPS ever. But anyway, guys, no, don't do this, especially with DLAA. Let's check it out with quality DLSS real quick. For that, of course, we need to go here again and select the Use 3D application settings. Here we go. Let's do quality DLSS. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's much better, guys. We got running water here, getting 40s instead of 30s, basically, at 4K resolution. So now it makes it a lot more playable. If you want to play with a controller especially, it's going to feel pretty good, because controllers with 40 FPS work really well, actually, on a TV especially. And let's just check it out, 1440p with quality DLSS. Okay, here we go, 1440p resolution, quality DLSS4, and come on, game, please work with me. Here we go, I can see a bit of fuzziness now around Arthur. Now that I've been playing at 4K resolution, I notice more imperfections at the lower resolutions. That's life, my friends. You experience a better thing, and then you go back to your usual stuff, or a lower thing, and the lower thing is worse than you remember. But it's still pretty good, okay? It's still better than TAA native at 1440p resolution, I think. However, it still does dip down into the 50s, as you can see. So, way worse performance than what we were seeing even with DLAA with the optimized settings, which were 80-something frames per second, especially around this area with a lot of water. And now let's go down to 1080p resolution. I'm keeping these shorter here because, you know, we already know optimized settings the way to go. Here we go, 1080p with quality DLSS, which also looked better than TAA, in my opinion, even at 1080p resolution. And finally, now we're getting 60s. But it's probably going to be 60 plus. It might actually dip down into the high 50s to 59 or 58 in extreme scenarios with like big waterfalls and stuff, but yeah, it's more often than not at 60 plus. So that's been it, guys. We can almost get 69 FPS. Look at that. Look at that. If I look at the sky a little bit here, can we get... No, it started raining. Just to lower our frame rates. Okay. But anyway, guys, that's been it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this look at the 5060 Ti in Red Dead Redemption 2. It plays it very well with the optimized settings, not so well at all with the Ultra Plus settings, but hey, who cares about these settings when optimized looks basically the same? So just use those, copy the settings from this video if you want to, or go watch Benchmark King's video on it. And I'll catch you in the next one very soon. As always, love you all. Bye-bye.